Hello, everyone. Welcome to our weekly wellness education series. Today is February 14th, 2026. So happy Valentine's Day to everybody. Um, just wanted to have a quick class today on some of our floral oils. Because, Valentine's Day, what girl doesn't love to get flowers, right? Even if they're essential oils. So, we're going to talk real quick, just review what our promotions are for this month, which does include one of our floral oils. Um, and then we'll go ahead and get started. I'm going to be using this book quite a bit today. It's the Essential Emotions book, which we'll kind of talk about in just a second. So, sharing the screen. Okay, so we have right here our promotions. We have our 200 PV promo. So if you order 200 PV, which if you're on the 90-day reset month two, that's automatically 200 PV. Let's go back to that. That's the 90-day reset. It's automatically 200 PV. So you're going to get that. We're going to just click on learn more here so we can learn more about what this is. Geranium and the castor oil pack. So if you bought your month two pack, you're automatically going to get a free castor oil, which is amazing. We have some really great testimonials from castor oil. Right around convention time, I was getting this crazy rash right here. And I just dabbed some castor oil on it for a couple of days and it was gone. And it had been lingering for a good couple of months. This castor oil pack, this is a big thing. You can use it over, some cellulite areas. You could use it over your kidney, your liver, basically just to any place that you would like to detox. You put the castor oil on it. It's like a plasticky kind of material on one side so it won't seep through, and then fabric on the other side. And so on the fabric side, you put the castor oil, then you wrap it around yourself and you let it sit there for several hours. Sometimes people sleep in them at night. Sometimes they just keep them on during the day. It's really great for skin, hair, all of that good stuff. So geranium is also another fantastic oil, great for massage. Appearance of clear, healthy skin, vibrant, healthy glow, which is why it pairs well with the castor oil and the castor oil pack. So, that's the promotion this month. It's amazing. And these castor oil packs, they had them at convention last year. They're like $25 and they went fast at the store that they had at convention. And so I'm really excited that they brought an option for us to get them back. So today I'm just going to type up in our little search bar flower and see what comes up. We have several floral oils. Now, when you think floral oil, I want you to think of something with petals and something that kind of feels or looks like maybe like a hug. Some floral petals are like a rose is kind of like it looks like a hug, right? And then other flower oils or flowers have just, one stem coming out. But generally speaking, it's kind of enveloping, right? When they come starting to bud and then they kind of open up. So if you kind of think of florals that way, they can be very calming. They can be very reassuring. They can be all sorts of different types of emotions. But regardless of whatever florals are calming. So when you think of like lavender, we always talk about lavender being a very calming oil. If you don't have a lavender, just grab another floral oil and it kind of has those same calming type properties. Also calming for your skin as well as your emotions. So this emotions book that I'm going to show you real quick right here, I absolutely love this book because we often talk about the physical the things that oils can do for us physicality. So like if we have like some joint issues or some muscle issues or head tension, those are physical issues. We also have emotional issues sometimes too. And this book goes through each essential oil and it goes through and it talks about what the emotional properties of that oil are. So let me look up geranium real quick. It just goes in alphabetical order. You can look up in this book either by emotion or by the oil. And so geranium oil is the oil of love and trust. So it says here that geranium restores confidence in the innate goodness of others and in the world. It facilitates trust, especially when individuals have lost trust in others due to difficult life circumstances. It also assists in reestablishing a strong bond to one's mother and father. When there has been a loss of trust in relationships, geranium encourages emotional honesty, love, and forgiveness. It fosters receptivity to human love and connection. So, geranium is really good at like healing a broken heart, tapping into that emotional honesty. So, geranium is the oil of love and trust. So, pretty powerful. So, how do you use these oils when dealing with certain emotions? So, you can take this oil and you can diffuse it. You can put it on some diffuser jewelry. You could use it like a perfume. You can put it on the bottom of your feet. And here it has, you could put 1 to 3 drops with a carrier oil and apply it over your heart. And then you could also put geranium in a capsule or in water, which I accidentally used geranium in water thinking that it was grapefruit because they're both G's and the colors on the bottles are very similar and it was dark. And so I was thinking I was putting grapefruit in my water, but it tasted rancid to me. But it wasn't rancid. It was just flowers that I was drinking instead of grapefruit. So just be in mind, keep that in mind when you are using different essential oils that may be close to each other in the alphabet and also because I had them alphabetized and maybe similar in color. So just kind of keep that in mind. Not that it was bad. I just was not expecting a flower. I was expecting a fruit. Um, so if you're feeling different emotions like abandoned, lost, distrust, unforgiving, unloving, disheartened, heavy-hearted, or grieving, you can use this oil to kind of help shift those emotions from the negative to the positive. And as you're using the oil, you can kind of like say some affirmations that have, something like, bring me empathy or trust or forgiveness or gentle, tolerant, loving, open-hearted, receiving. So if you find yourself that you're in that kind of the space where you want to shift the emotion from the negative side to the positive, you can use the oils as a way to help that. So that's how we're going to use the book. So one of our first oils that is like, the end all be all of all flower oils is rose essential oil. We have rose. Here it's $275 in the bottle that is pure rose oil. Now, just keep in mind too, when we get the rose, sometimes if it's a little chilly outside, it'll crystallize and go into a solid state. That shows that it is a very pure essential oil. All you have to do is just hold it in your hands, rub it back and forth, warm it up a little bit. Don't heat it up. Don't put it in the microwave or anything like that. That'll ruin the properties of it. But if you just kind of put it in your hands a little bit, but that is straight pure essential oil. I love using the Rose Touch because it's already in a roller. It's already pre-diluted. It won't solidify like it will in the regular bottle. And it's more like, $75 instead of $275. So a lot more affordable that way. But I love using it sometimes like as a deodorant. I love sometimes using it just as I have any skin blemishes going on. I'll use rose for that. So let's look up some of the emotional properties of what rose is and why we would want to use rose, rosemary, and rose. Rose is the oil of divine love. Rose oil holds higher vibration than any other oil on the planet. So, what does it mean by an oil vibration? A vibration. So, everything has kind of like an energetic value to it, right? When we are in a negative state, when our mind or body is feeling negativity, that is a very low vibration. Any oil is going to bring you up from a negative vibration because all oils have a generally higher vibration. Rose itself is the highest of what we have. It's a higher vibration than any other oil on the planet. And so if you're really kind of down and you need to be lifted up, rose is going to be the best one for you. It is a powerful healer of the heart. It supports individuals in reaching heavenward and connecting with divine love. So using this in a meditation practice or a scripture study or something like that. Rose teaches it's the essential need for divine grace and intervention in the healing process. As an individual opens up to receive divine benevolence, in all its manifestations, the heart is softened. So if you find yourself being very hard-hearted, this is one that you're going to use to kind of help soften your heart and to be more open. If one can simply let go and choose to receive divine love, they are wrapped in warmth, charity, and compassion. So you can use this oil from the bottle, just smelling it. Um, you can apply it over your heart. You can put it in the back of your neck. Um, yeah, so this is a great, great oil. Another oil is helichrysum. This one I've always known as being the like a liquid band-aid, right? So this one is very, very good at like that healing type of the skin. But if we have a helichrysum here and we want to use it for emotional purposes, and this one also too comes in that small 5 milliliter bottle, but then also has an option for a roller that is that also has the roller with diluted with coconut oil. So helichrysum is the oil of emotional pain. Interesting. Helichrysum is an amazing healer of emotional pain. It aids the walking wounded, those with a history of difficult life circumstances, trauma, self-destruction, loss, or abuse. These individuals need powerful spiritual support that helichrysum offers. It gives strength and endurance to the wounded soul who must keep on living despite past difficulties. This oil restores confidence in life and in self-giving individuals strength to carry on. Helichrysum has a powerful relationship with the light of the sun. It imbues joy, fervor, and hope for the living. Helichrysum takes hurt souls by the hand, guiding them through life's difficulties. If individuals can persevere, this oil can take them into new heights of spiritual consciousness. Helichrysum offers hope that their emotional wounds can be healed. So, very, very cool. I love that. Okay, next one, Blue Lotus. This one they talked about at convention when it was released a few years ago. And let me make sure that this book has Blue Lotus in it. It does. Blue Lotus is the oil of awakening. This one actually has like 4 paragraphs of things on this oil. So I'm just going to read the first one. Blue Lotus has a sweet mystical aroma, denoting well springs of untapped spiritual possibilities. This oil beckons all to explore higher realms. It asks individuals to awaken their spiritual purpose and expand further into their calling than ever before. The seeker meeting this oil can feel like a mysterious initiation. Its energy helps them discover unique gifts just beginning to take form. It invites individuals to embark the journey at their sacred center. It's here that Blue Lotus helps the both novice and seasoned mentor alike connect with higher knowledge and guided intuition. So this one would be really good if you're really trying to do studying, or if you're um, maybe studying for like teaching a lesson in church, or this could be something where you're really trying to tap into something deeper in your soul, and it can help kind of release some of those things that will help you tap into that. So, very, very cool. So the oil of awakening, Blue Lotus. Now, neroli, this one is a fantastic oil for that. This is Camden's oil. I've always said that this is Camden's oil. This is the one that she always gravitated towards when she was having some emotional problems. But neroli, neroli is the flower portion of the bitter orange tree. So like the flower, the bud that comes from the bitter orange tree, that is neroli. That's where that comes from. So neroli oil is the oil of shared purpose and partnership. So that could be with you and a partner. That could be with you and your higher power. Neroli is a unifying and stabilizing oil. I think this is why she likes this one so much, because it helps ground. It is particularly helpful for calming troubled hearts and relationship conflict. Its influence promotes harmony in the changing dynamics of long-term relationships. Ongoing partnerships require acceptance and growth. Over time, perceived weakness in others can come into full view, and as a result, individuals can grow bitter, frustrated, unsympathetic, and create emotional distance from people they once loved and cherished. If left unchecked, these feelings can grow into dysfunctional and destructive thoughts and behaviors. Perceived stagnation in relationship can cause despair and apathy and feed a desire to blame, punish, or escape. Alternatively, Neroli invites individuals to develop that character traits of fidelity, empathy, patience, forgiveness, and resilience to ease these relationship challenges. So, Neroli is definitely one that is amazing. We'll just go through a couple more. Roman chamomile. We know Roman chamomile is great for calming and relaxing. I put this in, sometimes some bath salts. You could actually even make your own chamomile tea with this. You can just take a drop or put a toothpick in it and swirl it around in some warm water and have your own chamomile tea there. But Roman chamomile is the oil of spiritual purpose. So Roman chamomile supports individuals in discovering and living their true life's purpose. Regardless of what someone does for a living, they can find purpose and meaning in life. Purpose isn't defined simply by outward actions of individuals. It is housed within their heart and soul and radiates out into the world. As individuals live from the center of their beings, they find power and purpose that is indescribable. They also feel calmer and more at peace. So that's Roman chamomile. And a pretty darn powerful one. Magnolia touch. Magnolia reminds me of my mom's house. So the magnolia trees out front. So magnolia it's this one, it's also a very it's a much lighter smell than a lot of the other essential oils. Like rose can be pretty powerful, jasmine can be pretty powerful, but magnolias just seem softer to me for some reason as far as like what the scent is. It's not super overpowering, which is another reason why I love it. So magnolia is the oil of compassion. So if you find yourself needing some compassion or want to support that emotion within yourself, this is definitely one for you. So this one says, Magnolia connects people with the energy of the divine matriarch. This feminine spiritual source expects individuals to treat one another with mercy and compassion. Magnolia creates a tender place within the heart to learn important lessons about human interconnectedness and how to live in love and harmony. It also assists in illuminating the distance between individuals and dispels whatever may be clouding the ability to see each other, human beings with relatable needs, desires, and pains. It encourages all individuals on a profoundly spiritual level to interact without causing pain or suffering, and to refrain from seeing others as somehow less than oneself. So that's a really pretty one too. Then we're going to just talk real quick about jasmine. Jasmine, let's see. Jasmine. I love the smell of jasmine. Jasmine is definitely one of those oils that has a distinct smell. H-I-J. I can go in order. I think I just passed it. Jasmine. Jasmine is the oil of sexual purity and balance. This one, actually, I had a friend of mine who was abused as a child, that when she was ready kind of to deal with those emotions that happened and transpired with all of that, it was a very, very difficult time for her. But jasmine oil helped her get through a lot of that. It's kind of like that self-love and balance within all of that. So that one was pretty tender for her. So I did florals or flower at the time. I'm going to do floral now. Ylang Ylang is another one that I wanted to tap into real quick. So Ylang Ylang is the oil of inner child. How many of us lost that inner child, tapping into that inner child? Ylang Ylang is a powerful remedy for the heart. Modern day society honors and reveres the mind over the heart. Yet the heart, with intuitive ways of receiving information, is an essential part of the soul. Ylang Ylang reconnects individuals with their inner child in a pure, simple way of the heart. It encourages play and restores a childlike nature and innocence. It assists in accessing intuition and heart knowing. Now, one that we don't have here that it didn't come up with the florals is what? Our awesome lavender. So let's go ahead and look up lavender because, that's like, everything goes to lavender. You think flower, you think lavender, right? That's like one of our very first ones. So lavender is the oil of communication and calm. So lavender aids verbal expression and calms the mind. Specifically, it calms the insecurities that are felt when one risks their true thoughts and feelings. Lavender addresses a deep fear of being seen and heard. Individuals in need of lavender hide within, blocking their true self-expression. While they may be not going through the motions of outward expression, they're actually holding back their innermost thoughts and feelings. The expression is not connected to their heart and soul. So lavender will support the individuals in releasing the tension and constriction that stems from withheld expression. So really, really cool. Is there a floral oil that you love that you would like me to look up? I'm trying to look through some of these to see if I missed any. We got Blue Lotus. Oops. Is blue tansy a flower? I think it might be. Blue tansy is one of those that's like super great for your skin, but it is also the oil of inspired action. There was a blue tansy experiment that a lot of people would do that they would put a drop of blue tansy on their big toe. Because if you look at your foot, like the reflexology, your big toe is associated with your brain. And so having that oil, it has that inspired action attached with it. So it supports those who resist taking action to change or transform their circumstances. It is especially helpful when individuals have become stagnant in their progression. It provides kind of a catalytic spark that overcomes the tendency to avoid or procrastinate. The blue tansy necessitates that individuals choose to take the helm of their life. It also encourages individuals to live in alignment with whisperings of their inner voice, prompting them to make necessary changes. When an individual represses these messages, they often feel lethargic, drained, apathetic, sluggish, and exhausted. Blue tansy invites individuals to take the initiative to reclaim the life they dream. So that one is a great oil as well. So I think that we've touched on a lot of the oils that are florals that are most popular. And, I just thought that, today would be one of those days that we could talk about some of these awesome floral oils and some of the emotions. One thing that I want you to remember when we're dealing with emotions and essential oils. If you smell an essential oil and it doesn't smell good to you at that moment, it means you're probably not ready to deal with the emotions associated with that oil. And then maybe later on, a few months later, it smells great to you. That means you're now ready to deal with the emotions associated with that oil. I had a cousin of mine that, was going through some hard things. And I think it was the oil Forgive. This is just as an example. There was some hard things and smelt that oil and was like, this smells gross to me. And I was like, okay, you're not ready to deal with it. So he was going through therapy and doing some other work on himself. And I told him, I was like, pick it up in a few months after you've done some work and see how it feels then. And about 6 months later, he's like, I think you're crazy, but I'm going to try this, and picked up that oil and smelled it. And it smelled really good to him. And he was like, interesting, very interesting. So if you're really liking that oil, it's kind of like your body is craving it or you're ready to deal with those emotions. But when you have something that like just smells like repulsive to you, you're just not necessarily like ready to deal with what's going on there. So just kind of keep that in mind. So, any questions about any essential oils, whether they're florals or not? I'm happy to answer or talk about any of those emotions, but um, happy Valentine's Day. And I hope that something with these floral oils kind of resonated with you. And, pick up a floral oil today and smell it and enjoy the day with your loved ones. I hope you guys all have a great day.